Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton and U.S. Representatives Robin Kelly and Roger Krishnamoorthi took to the stage for a second televised forum for the 2026 Democratic U.S. Senate primary. Hosted by ABC 7 Chicago last night, the forum offered an opportunity to hear additional candidate positions on new topics, including citizenship for immigrants such as Dreamers, voter protections, federal money for K-12, federal minimum wage, and vaccines. First, the candidates explained their position on creating a path to citizenship for immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, frequently referred to as Dreamers.
I'm a prime sponsor, original co-sponsor of the bill that Senator Durbin pioneered in the Senate and is in the House to allow a path to citizenship for Dreamers, but we have to go beyond that. We have to also allow for a path to citizenship for TPS holders. We should also make it viable for people who've staked their roots in this country and made a life here to also have a path.
This includes making sure that there is a path and a process for asylum seekers, and making sure that we're funding that system adequately to make sure that they can get their hearings and it can move forward.
The pathway needs to be as short as possible. They are contributing to this country. They are paying taxes in this country. They know no other country. So we need to have the shortest pathway as possible for those Dreamers. But then also we need to work on the over 11 million that have been here.
Next, the candidates addressed how they would ensure voter protections.
And I believe that the reason why this president wants to have a military presence on American streets is because, quite frankly, he does not want to see us have another election. So this is critical. And there are some things we've done right here in Illinois to make sure that we can protect voting rights and make sure your voices are counted at the ballot box. We made Election Day a state holiday. We have extended voting hours. We made sure that vote by mail can be expanded. Those are the kinds of things that we need to see happen to protect voting rights.
I think we need to do a really good job on educating the public, education and information. In fact, the Congressional Black Caucus, we just had a forum. We had Eric Holder and other people in NAACP legal division to work with us on how we would do that, because oftentimes what you can do in Illinois, a very blue state, you cannot do that nationwide. It just does not work like that. As I've often said, I've been in Congress 13 years and only in the majority 4 years. So I think we need to leave no stone unturned and work with really our constituents and educate, so people know when their rights, their voting rights are being tampered with, or someone's trying to take their voting rights away, whatever it is, closing the polls early, changing the address of the polls, asking you for further identification. People need to know what their rights are.
We have to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. This is something that I have been an original co-sponsor on since I got into Congress. It has various reforms as part of it, including making elections a holiday, making vote by mail universally available. It also gives the Justice Department the opportunity to once again fight voter suppression efforts in the 14 states that once made up the Confederacy.
The candidates explained what they would do to ensure federal funding for K-12 continues to flow.
The funding that we're talking about, Title I funds in particular, are the funds that go to some of our most under-resourced schools. Schools in neighborhoods that need extra resources, rural communities where students with disabilities. And these are the kinds of programs and resources that are now being cut by this administration. So we need to do what we've done here in Illinois over the past 7 years in our administration. We have made record investments in K-12 education and didn't leave it there. We also invested in early childhood and made college more affordable as well.
I would build back the Department of Education. The federal government also needs to pay IDEA for developmentally disabled students, the 40% that we're supposed to pay. We haven't been doing that. We have to build back Title I for low-income communities and also for professional development for teachers. But Department of Education is so important, even more than education. It's for the civil rights and protections of students and teachers.
And so when this grant goes away, Basically, these children will be harmed. When you harm our children, you harm our future. What do we do about it? I think we have to do a few things. One, pursue litigation. We have to continue to pursue litigation in the lower courts, and I will continue to join it. Two, we have to continue to perform oversight and restrict funds where the administration impounds money illegally.
The candidates took positions on raising the federal minimum wage.
At least support raising the minimum wage. As you said, it hasn't been raised in a long time. It's $7.25 an hour. I would support raising it to $17 an hour. That's what studies show is viable. And also, we have to be realistic about how much we want to raise it, because we, of course, have to get 218 votes in the House and 60 votes in the Senate. And even speaking with Bernie Sanders, he talks about $17 an hour, because that is a realistic amount that wages can be waged.
Yes, we have to raise the federal minimum wage. It's an abomination at $7.25. I think we should. I co-sponsored the original legislation to raise it to $15 an hour. I think 17 sounds reasonable given inflation. We have to do it obviously in a way that also respects small businesses. I was a small business person. I signed the front of the check and the back of the check, and so I know that small businesses need to be at the table as stakeholders in addition to others. But we need to do more than this. And here, in addition to raising the wage, we also need to upskill our workers so that they can continue to see wage increases over time.
I support a $25 an hour minimum wage, because I don't think we should think about just minimum wage. I think we should think about a livable wage.
Lastly, the candidates explained what role Congress should have in overseeing public health policy.
Congress should have a huge role in decisions that are made. Of course, we need to go by the science. We need to go by reputable doctors that also need to be interviewed and vetted.
Look, when RFK Jr. was first nominated and he came before the Senate, he actually stated in testimony before the Senate Help Committee, the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, that he would not substantially alter vaccine policy. He lied. And now people are going to die. The result of the Senate confirming this terribly flawed individual.
We need to make sure that we are identifying people as we go forward, to hold them accountable and make sure we're not confirming anyone through a Senate appointment process that does not believe in science. I know that I'm proud of what we've done here in Illinois. We made sure that as we saw vaccine schedules change at the federal level, that we took action. And we made sure that our Illinois Department of Public Health issued its own recommendations for vaccines.